Hi guys, give me a Flake Man here. I want to talk to you a little bit about the perception of China in Japan and what we're hearing about China over here. I want to back up a few weeks ago to tell you about an article I read. There was an article in the newspaper in which China, was bragging about... Wow, you hear that? China was this has been like this for the last few days. Well, you can't fight Mother Nature, right? By the way, Tensai is a natural disaster, and Jinsai is a human error, a tragedy that's due to human error, human fault. But today I want to talk about a Jinsai. You can hear Maggie barking over there. So a few weeks ago, China was bragging about their bullet train system. In Japanese we say Shinkansen. And they were talking, they're bragging, and Japanese, my students were kind of annoyed because they thought, oh, zurui. Zurui is kind of like, oh, you guys are kind of tricky because, the Chinese, because, and everyone knows this is in the papers, China bought their technology, their trains, basically they built their trains using Japanese, French, and German technology, especially their cars. And then they themselves have built the railing. Now, don't take my word on this. This is, I'm getting different information off the TV. Here it comes again, ready? A little late. Do your own research, but basically, what Japan has built their Shinkansen system over a period of about 50 years. It started with the Tokyo Olympics many years ago. And they've built about 2,500 kilometers of tracks. And that's Japan, okay? Now China, in 6 years, has built almost 4 times as much, lengthwise. So that's, you hear that? Maggie's going nuts. Maggie, what's up? Hey, how you doing, honey? You scared? Come on up. Oh, Maggie's scared. Here comes Maggie, ready? Get out of here. Fail video, news video. Let's review. China's bragging about their train system a few weeks ago. A few days ago, China had a train accident on their bullet train. Right? What happened was lightning struck. So this is very appropriate. Lightning struck one of the Shinkansen, one of the bullet trains, and it stopped it. So that's what happened. I didn't know that would happen. But if lightning strikes a train, this kind of train, it stops it. Another train didn't know it was stopped and rammed into it. And 6 cars were derailed, 39 people died, 109 or so injured, I don't remember exactly. My God. But here's the weird thing. After it happened, now, the other thing is Chinese are enraged, they're outraged, they're really angry, and this is the weird thing about China. A lot of us think that China's like, they don't really know, anything because their government keeps them in the dark, but actually they do have quite a bit of information out there. I mean, it's hard to keep a billion people in the dark, I would think. But almost like a couple days, or I think the next day after the accident, they buried the cars. And yesterday they unburied one, or they dug it up, not unburied, they dug up one of the cars because apparently there's a little girl's dead body was inside, so that's horrible, right? But China is really, Chinese government is reeling over this. They're like, oh, they're really upset, and they're trying to hide it, and they can't. And, so a lot of people are fearing that the world is going to be taken over by China really soon because, there's so many of them, and they're doing so well, and their economy is so strong, they're going to overtake the USA, blah, blah. They already overtook Japan in car sales a couple of years ago. But even if China gets really big and powerful that way, they're always going to have these kind of problems because these growing pains. Now, one of the reasons I'm making this video on this channel is because I'm getting my information from Japanese news sources. I'm not sure how similar your sources are. I'm not sure how similar your news sources are, or even if you're hearing any of this. But some other stuff about China is pretty interesting. They don't seem to respect copyright at all, or the spirit of copyright, right? So, for example, in this case, they took the Japanese. Could you close the door, please? They took the Japanese, the German, and French technology and built my door, not your door. They took the German, Japanese, and French technology and built their own trains, and now they're selling the same train to Saudi Arabia, and they're trying to sell it to Latin America, which seems pretty zurui, right? Pretty zurui. But they're doing it. Here's another funny thing that happened about copyright that we see all the time in Japanese news. There are apparently villages in China where you can go and you can hire Chinese people to basically duplicate things that are copyrighted, you know, brand names and stuff. And this is where, and they don't even have a concept in these villages that it's wrong. You know, they don't have any concept like that. It's kind of interesting. Of course, they are trying to change that image, and you hear about, you know, Chinese government cracking down on people who are selling, you know, pirated DVDs and stuff. But it still goes on. Here's the latest, funniest thing. There was I don't know who did it, but some people opened up fake Apple stores in China. They basically copied, and there's also Uniqlo. I don't know, you got Uniqlo, right? They opened up fake Apple stores on Uniqlo, and the people who worked at the Apple stores didn't even know that it was a fake company they were working for. They honestly thought they were working for Apple. They were completely clueless. And now they started to close these. There's a theme park in China that really rips off the characters of Disney. And actually, when I was I don't know who it was, but recently I bought something. Well, a couple of years ago, I bought some gifts for some students, and they were fake Chinese, like Buzz Lightyear Toy Story dolls that were very, very similar. They weren't exactly the same thing, but they copied them. It was amazing. Even the logos and the fonts, everything. Oh, the other thing, currency control in China, also kind of fake in a way, manipulated. Let's see, fake Disney goods. Yes, oh yeah, here's the other interesting thing. In China, they don't really use Google, and they don't use Twitter. They have their own thing. One of them is called Weibo. I think that's the version of Twitter. And their Google is Baidu. In Japanese, they seem to call it Hyakudo, which means 100 degrees. But it's just, it's fascinating. I want to know what you guys think about China, if you're interested in this, or what kind of news you're hearing over there. What I would say is that we don't really have to worry about them taking over the world. Not quite yet. They may be the biggest guy on the planet soon, you know. Yeah, they're very awkward. Their growing pains means we're not going to have to really worry about them. We're going to be much more. Other countries are going to be much more nimble, and anyway, that's about it for now. It's really hard to concentrate with barking dogs and thunder, but thanks for watching, guys. So this is a video I've been trying to make for a while, and unfortunately, this is how it came out. So that's it. Talk to you soon.